Wow, I wonder who the guy that saved us last time is. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we did the... I don't know if I would say this is the most difficult fight in the game, but it's definitely up there. Fighting Ricardo the Big Brother, and this time, we've got the Indigo Wilder. Try to remember my voice from. It was unexpected of you, Faust. If you involved sinners to be the one to bring aboard a big shot to our humble abode. You have any idea how many times that prick killed us? Least you could do is reminds me, after we opened my personal consultation, I was for a certain kleptomaniac among us. But this obvious discontent at the involvement of an outsider didn't seem to bother Faust. I considered him indispensable for the completion of this mission. And why is that? I'm the only one who can hold that pallid whale. Of course you are. The Indigo Elder. Indigo? He's a color? That means that I in this very moment am sharing space with not one, but two color fixers! Or that you were wandering around the Great Lake that hunted its whales. And last I heard, you hunted one of the 5 calamities, the all-impaling marlin whale. The old man grunted. It was neither a confirmation nor a denial, but that was the way the old man was. Everyone understood that. All circumstantial evidence suggests that the golden bough was devoured by the whale stranded at the Great Lake. Yes, that very same pallid whale of the 5 calamities normally observed in the outskirts. Of course, that's how these things always tend to flow. We've wasted much time, so I'll be blunt. I wish to hunt the pallid whale. Yes, and time's all we have. Moreover, we know where the whale is headed, and I'm certain you have spent a significant time observing and learning that whale's hunted. I've got a plan. I'll do anything to make it work. If you want me there only as bait, this is how we'll do it. The crowd fell silent when Ishmael finished explaining her plan. Yeah, I'm mad. Well, that thrashing's finally sent you off the deep end. I'm just staying for there for my mission, and the golden bough just happens to be in the same direction. I'll lead it up to you, not to the manager since their decision matters the most. This company, me, we're both just trying to find a way to reach our goals. That's all this is. Besides, does everyone have a better idea? Can't agree to that. I'm making a mistake by even entertaining that balmy idea. I must ask you one last thing. Will you join us to fish, Red? The Indigo Elder suddenly broke his silence with a question. I'm not experienced or particularly skilled at hunting marine life, but I have other more important concerns that prevent me from joining. I don't know. Unless the worst comes to pass, I will not take part. The old man rose from his seat and walked off as though he was about to leave. Wait a moment. We don't need the guy. With proper plan, we're more than capable of completing this mission. Give us so quickly as I never said I am. This loud screaming shit won't do in our hunt for the pallid whale. Screaming? I don't think Mephistopheles was that loud. To hunt, the boat must remain near and cover. A narrow and sturdy boat is what we need. Oh, he was here that Virgilius wasn't going to help out? Why? Right, it's going to go much smoother if Fergie was with us. Prepare a boat that fits your specification should you request it. That's alright. I'll sell me own skiff. Oh, dinghy? Well, could split in two with a log of its tail. No. That skiff. It may not look like much, but it is extremely durable. It's that X-Corp's allies have been used in its construction. That cannot have been an easy ingredient to come by. I know the benefits of having a color bestowed upon me, then. I have heard tale of... Instead of entertaining that bombardment of question, he approached me. I noticed it in the earlier scuffle. Cock seems to be you and your crew's lifeline. I don't know how it works, but I presume it's a singularity of sorts. It'll not work against the whale. So start now. Get used to the idea that not everything can be brought back. Why? Why did you even accept after Virgilius opted out? It's a question I've been unable to let go. Dante asked why you've accepted our request, even after Virgilius opted out of it. You asked me the wrong question. I would have denied your request for Red to agree to take part. Let's say that Red joined us. Surely, we would together battle the whale in a long and arduous struggle. At the end, the whale would surely go down, taking one of us with it. That's why I would have opted out if Red chose to join us. Because the hunt would no longer be mine. Whatever doth that mean? Thy intentions elude me. I mean, I'll not be able to test the limits. The limits? What are you even talking about? Look, to hunt that whale, have to prepare with everything we have, and out of fear, humans drew borders even to the outskirts that lie beyond the city's limits. Beyond it are stars that lie beyond the edge of understanding, beyond even the concept of fear itself. I'm not a fisherman seeking to cross the borders that challenge our very understanding. Talking about what lies beyond the outskirts, its outreaches. That whale devours everything, but it's nothing but calamity. How could you... you've been a prey once, sailor. Countless lakes here also devour, some in calamities. If you find yourself at a crossroads, you'll find that your life is worth nothing in the face of what lies before you. Recall this conversation. I'm not good with advice, never was. Still, I thought I'd part a few words. As a fellow seafarer, it's suppose I felt a bit of kinship. As per the old man's directions, we were on the skiff prepared on Mephistopheles. So Ishmael, moments before boarded the skiff on Mephistopheles. This was Ishmael's plane, but I had no way of knowing what she was really thinking. I had an inkling, yes, and so far I'd been going along with these vague guesses that led to disasters. So I had to ask her myself, Ishmael, what do you really want? What I really want. I see another vision of Ishmael. She was hiding it well from the other sinners in Virgilius, but I could clearly see what she wanted, her true desire. Ishmael, She was lifting a body from the waters. A body that was torn asunder, shattered bones, strips of muscle tissue, flesh. Ishmael trembled with elation before what looked like the captain's mutilated corpse. What? Come on, let's get going. Again, that's another thing I love about Limbus Company. You are not good people. I mean, obviously Ryoshu is the biggest example of the fact that Limbus Company are terrible people. Now, I'll get into more detail when we get into the mission itself, when we get into the battle. As we discussed earlier, we took a different route from the Indigo Elder. We were first to arrive at separate destinations for our plans. Something's floating over there. Not long after we crossed the line where the lake water turned to gray, we noticed something pale peeking up from the lake. Are those islands? There's a lot of them. Maybe reefs. Perhaps that is this lake's challenge. Navigate while avoiding them to the best of our abilities. Sure, look rocky, but it's too big to call reefs. These sense off, don't they? We may attempt to discover a path does not lead into an area cluttered with such obstacles that require us to hazard a path unknown. It may lead to this plan's ruin. If you can sense even the most general direction of the Golden Bough, please relay it to me. I can use that up to approximate its location. I can assure you a degree of accuracy with this additional data provided by the Indigo Elder. Huh? We'll give you a better magical compass to begin with, Glockhead. They are only able to do this under the peculiar conditions of the Great Lake, which has very few in the way of obstacles. The urban areas of the city are dense with structures both high and low, and into the underground. The higher population density also complicates matters. Considering Dante can detect the Golden Bough only in close proximity, so that there may be insurmountable obstacles in our way, their sense will not be of much help there. Is it back being usual clock at anyone else? That's why. Script for the Golden Bough here, even though we're so far away. There's my figment pointing to the general direction of this vague feeling. Confirmed. We will turn the ship around that direction. Ishmael wordlessly steered the ship according to Faust's words. We were ever near to the island, or a reef. Heavy silence descended upon the sinners. Oh. Until Ishmael gasped with sudden realization. What is this like? There was an incomprehensible look of Ishmael's face. They saw unrestrained joy. The joy of finding something she's been searching for so long. Such an overwhelming, all-consuming happiness that her facial muscles began to twitch on their own. Maybe I saw extreme fear. The fear in the face of destined, unavoidable horror. The lake's splashing waves hit her trembling face and rolled down her cheeks. Or maybe she was sweating from dread. Ishmael, do you have any information to share with us? Yeah. Here, I know what to do from here. I know exactly what to do. Otis can't exactly see what's clear in front of us from back here. Tell me precisely what you see. The numbers decides all of it. Trying to avoid the wild currents and find a safe path around these rocks? Understood. Otis nodded emphatically before rising her seat to gaze at the path ahead. She balanced herself as the ship rocked. About 350 meters ahead, a minuscule plain pattern of glistening rock. About 500 meters ahead of that is a medium-sized rock. There's a bump on top of that stands out. Continue. Now, as far ahead, there is a large island with a rough, porous surface. Upon closer inspection, it looks like an archipelago of 4 similar islands. Good. Ishmael began to fiddle with the steering gear at the engine's output levers as though something had clicked in her mind. We made it past the first rock. The texture was a bit different from that of normal rock, wasn't it? Gee, not the texture of a rock, or even soil. Just past the second one. So what about the texture? Can't see over the big one, the long one. Is that there? Is a living, breathing thing. What? Swami, watch where you're steering the ship. We're gonna crash into the third rock at this rate. That's what we're gonna do, Otis. That's where we get off. That rock, creepy porous rock over there. Well, feel free to crash into a rock in your free time, but don't take all of us with you. Not even a single tree up there, let alone a person. Bloody hell are we anchoring there for? Gotta screw your head on a different direction in the Great Lake, Heathcliff. What are you talking about? A loud shock and ear-splitting sound of the skiff scratching and sliding against something cut Heathcliff off. You even know where you're going, woman! Oh, yes. She knows. Wait, that white color. Ishmael? Yeah. Those aren't islands or rocks. What we thought were islands suddenly rumbled, vibrating as ground tremors from an earthquake. They're all parts of a whale. The colossal creature shudders as it wakes from a long slumber. And back to the point I was going on before, like, obviously Ryoshu is the biggest example of the fact that we are terrible people in Limbus Company, but it's not just Ryoshu. It's everyone. Everyone in Limbus Company is, in some degree, a bad person. I mean, like, obviously, there's some that are better than others. For example, like, Yi-Sang is comparatively a better person. Don Quixote is comparatively a better person. But, like, you still have, again, you have people like Merceau, who, if someone told him, hey, go stab this baby, then he's got the knife at the ready, or rather, he's got a gun and the annoyance of the sun in his eyes. Heathcliff murdered someone super quickly. Oh, like, on the note of Don Quixote, of course, one of the first, I believe, Don was the first sinner to kill... No. Don killed Ryoshu. That's what it was. Ryoshu was the first sinner to take the life of another sinner, then Don killed her. I had to remember all the way back to that. So, you know, Don is someone who, she'll take her justice into her own hands and stab someone through the face, if need be. Roja, of course, doomed her people with her selfishness. Again, like, there's a reason that the big thing with, you know, the big thing in this game is sins. And sin affinities and all that stuff, because everyone is a bad person. And I love that about this game, that they're not trying to make a group of complete heroes. They're not trying to make a group of, you know, they're not trying to be the all-saving, you know, angels that are going to make sure that the world gets better, because the world's fucked. Like, we go back to everything with K-Corp. We know that there's atrocities going on at K-Corp, and we just do nothing about it. We know that we can't do anything about it because, again, we knew what the singularity was. We knew how horrible it is, but we had to be subjected to mind-wiping because that's just the business of it. I love the fact that that this game doesn't try to be good people. The game doesn't try to, you know, be a bunch of goody two-shoes. Everyone sucks, and it's great. Of course, obviously, we see that more as we go through everyone's cantos. And we can still get some, you know, some say between mainly what their base or what their base affinity, their base ego is, rather, what affinity that is. So, for example, for, like, again, lust is not necessarily horniness. It's, I believe lust is kind of, I believe it ends up getting summarized as, like, the desire for power, or the extreme desire for something. Don very much has that for justice. Ishmael has gloom. Maybe wrath would have been a little bit better, but there still is this compulsion that she has. There still is this very bad mental state going on with her that isn't doing great. Gregor with Sloth, he's kind of just accepted his role, not really trying to go beyond that. He's just accepted the same thing with Yi-Sang. Yi-Sang's big thing was that he didn't really try to break out of his shell that much. He just kind of was like, alright, I guess I'll do... Again, like he said, what was the exact wording? Oh yeah, it was, if Bubo had asked him to destroy the mirror, he would've, because it was too much work to try to fight against it. Roja, again, with her pride, that is, you know, something that she thought she knew what was best for her town, for her people, but it ended up being very much not that. Gluttony, I forget exactly how they define gluttony. I say this, we do get a more in-depth description of what all of the sin affinities really mean. but that's not until after Canto 7. There's an intervallo in there. But, yeah. I get it. Get it now. All these raw, scratchy whales. Get that man to pop out of those paws. Thanks to learn anything that... Not even drawing their eye, huh? We're just going around them. Looking to let off some steam. Hacking for a game of whack-a-mole all of a sudden. Is that it? Of course not. It's only the method I know. Better be able to explain what you're talking about. Heathcliff Furious wasn't the only sinner looking at Ishmael with expectant eyes. There were Otis and the other sinners who all looked to her for some answers. Ishmael. Yeah, I was too, of course. I also didn't think I'd be actually doing this. So there's this legend-like tale. Legend? Each lake of the Great Lake has its own culture, with many wandering and choosing to call these places their homes. Naturally, there are as many tales as there are lakes. There's one tale of a certain lake that is passed down orally from sailor to sailor, just like the legends of old. The legend of the gloomy grey lake of wafting and rumbling. Sailors sang the legend of that lake, passing it down for years upon years. Doom, and hew thy veiled path to misty seas. The gloom, let whales draw their pearls in search of pallid hue. Tomb shall be thy mist path, feeding the weeping whales. Whatever does that mean? Simple. Hit the poorest whales to wake them, draw out and hunt their mermaids, and the path of the pallid whale shall clear the mist. I believe that. Expect to believe that, hogwash. Blimey, I didn't think I'd ever get to say these words before my deathbed, but you're stupid! Listen, what does waking these whales up have anything to do with getting rid of that thick fog? It's got to make even a little bit of sense now. Heathcliff discusses the correlation between action and consequences. It truly is a rare experience indeed. Shut up, smartass! I'm serious! You think it's the law that sends waves after us if we don't cross the border at the exact right moment makes sense? I think that law that makes us go in circles before reaching our destination, the law that doesn't let us go back the way we came from, makes any sense? I've been telling you this whole time, common sense has no place in the Great Lake. That's just the way this place works, okay? You have to accept that. Fine, I'll give you that. But they're like the laws of the city. As lounge as they are, the strict laws have been calculated into those valuable coordinates and whatnot. Well, you're blathering here some vague old songs, supposed to believe something so absurd. Yes, because I've seen it myself. Years ago, when a young, stupid, but motivated sailor boarded the ship, she had the most unfortunate opportunity of witnessing this very legend with her own eyes. Because that's how she saw the pallid whale. Heathcliff fell silent, scratching his head. The rest of the sinners also nodded and began whispering. I really don't like you. I took the words right out of my mouth. I don't like any of this, but I know that you're not the kind of lass that lie or tell tall tales just to get the upper hand and petty squabble. Fine, let's go all the way to the end. Keep whacking these Morlock things at this club. No, so accept your explanation, but from now on, I'd appreciate if you could share your knowledge with us first before doing anything. I'll try. Anyway, I'm relieved that we now have a definitive path forward. Let's go find our next whale. Executive manager. All aboard, men! Truly, the ocean mist is splitting as though a blade has hewn it in half. Once we eliminated the mermaids from the last whale singled out by Ishmael, the fog began to slowly fade, but it was a different lake beyond the grey sea. Finally. I really do like the dynamic between Heathcliff and Ishmael as well. It's cute. They're cute together, hearts. The weather there is quite hostile. Rousseau was right. The lake beyond the border is now pitch black. The waves crested tall, rising and crashing violently into the thundering rainstorm. The wild winds have begun to sway the boat. Yisong's face was starting to grow pale. I'm starting to wonder if we can really do this. Maybe let that stop us from trying. I guess that's true. Alright. Heading into the zone. Are there any laws of the lake that we must be mindful of? I don't know the laws of that lake, nor its waves. Remember the way the fog split open, remember the obsidian sea and the endless tempest. The rest of it, all I can remember is that the captain is excitedly delivering a speech at witnessing the legend come to life, and we're all busy preparing for the whale hunt. So what awaits us ahead is a real adventure, sailing blindly into the night. Go. We want to face everything head on. Yeah, waves come to claim us. Face them, head on. Even the whale. No signs of that whale just yet, though. Back then, it attacked us mere minutes after we entered that lake. Everybody was tense as they could ever be, looking around nervously. What's that? Something tall. Close approach is recommended. A source of light so we can improve our visibility. Rousseau got up with the lantern and pointed the light towards where Sinclair indicated. There's several of them? What's that? No, who put them there? What are they even for? Maybe like lighthouses? Lighthouses? Yeah, I can kind of see that. Remember seeing anything like that, Ishmael? No. I don't even have a hazy recollection of it. Never seen it before in my... Ishmael, Has the nausea of the swaying sea gotten to you as well? Your face is growing rather pale. I knew that can't be true. Seasick sailor only exists in jokes. Besides, Ishmael was doing fine just mere moments ago. He must have had a sudden realization. I see. So that's what it looked like. Even a small part of it is a terrifying realization. What is it? You'll find out soon enough, even if you don't want to. There, rogue wave ahead! All hands brace, grab onto water if you can! Before we even had the chance to say anything, a leviathan of a wave rose to its crest and crashed onto us from above, and sucked us deep into the lake before throwing us back to the surface. We were lucky. There's a high chance that the following vortex would have dragged the vessel deep underwater. Lucky? So it was down on Atlas! Everyone okay? Everyone was soaking wet, nearly hyperventilating, but mostly awestruck by what we just witnessed. We have everyone, but we just saw down there were... They weren't lighthouses, they were tails of colossal whales. I really want to give up now. I want to go back to the time when I didn't know what the whales really looked like. So this is where the lake where the whales come to sleep. Yeah. They're deep in the water with the necks bent like that. I can see their tails rising tall over the surface. No way to miss this commotion. The ship, we're killing over! The whales are waking up. We're finally here. I think that's what Ishmael whispered. But the storm, the waves buried her her voice deep into the lake. I think the elder made it here's blue plant. Thank you, Don. Over yonder! Is that the whale? We didn't have to wonder for even a second about what Don Quixote was screaming at. An entire herd of entities, each dwarfing every single whale we've weathered throughout this journey, emerged from the waters all at once, and they began migrating in a singular direction. To witness something like that was enough to make even Merceau gape with plain bewilderment. Looks like things are going according to plan. We'll have to do our part. There! There! There was a whale that stood out even among the herd of ineffably immense whales. Pallid as the pale death, its hide thick with scar tissue. It was particularly scarred. I found it. It was right. The wounds, the scar that the peck on me, they're all still there. I assume you finally located the whale. I believe so, yes. As always, the chance of success must be minuscule. Indeed it is. Horsemen! Ishmael thundered. Ishmael? No, louder than the thunder herself, as though her personality itself had suddenly shifted. Her voice seemed to overwhelm the very storm itself. Answer, you dogs! Horsemen! Said that pallid then. Full speed ahead! Row! Full speed ahead! Row! Even though it was swept up in the sun to prevent, repeating after Ishmael's bellowing commands. That's what Ishmael was like when she sailed the lake shore. Or is this the captain? I see light. It's the Indio Elder. The man in a skiff was sliding across the waters toward the whale. Listen well! The rest of the awakened whales going off to the bait of the lake. The plan worked. Now, it wasn't clear whether the thunder or the old man's bell that awakened the pallid whale. Its eyelids began to lift. I fucking love the shot, by the way. Holy fuck. It's been so long since I witnessed anything like this up close. There's an eye of astronomical proportions, so immense that it no longer resembled an eye, but a reflective mirror of the world. Oh, I wish to see you eye to eye. The old man, harpoon in hand, draws close to the whale with a grim, stony expression. Ishmael also aims her harpoon at the great whale, her face nearly tearing with uncontainable joy. Some sinners tremble with fear while others prepare themselves. All of it, the world, contained in a single reflective eye, stretching beyond our peripheral visions. Now here's your bait, fish. Bite on it. And I have no other choice, but devour all you've ever known. Horsemen! Split the sea with your oars! I expect you, pallid whale. I expect you've lived years in numbers that cannot even begin to imagine. I expect that you hail from a place beyond my ken. But I'll take this chance to stand before you, to challenge you. And with this challenge to the edge of understanding, I will row. A giant harpoon soars across the black sky like a bolt of leaven and strikes the pallid whale. Now's our chance! Row on! Row on! Ishmael rose tall and alone, looking straight out beyond the speeding boat's swaying bow, harpoon in her hand. I've been thinking, ever since then, about what feelings might dig up from my heart if I saw you again. This feeling is much more straightforward than I expected. Nice meeting you again. You fucking whale! Compared to the old man's harpoon, the harpoon Ishmael hurled was like a needle. But once struck, as though its body were racked by immense, unbearable pain, the pallid whale's maw opened, and the air itself began to vibrate. Small opens! Go. I'll now fish this beast. Every sinner heard the old man's voice. Every sinner begins rowing with all their might. In desperation, as though death itself was in our pursuit. As though it was our fate, our destiny to row. We were sucked to an endless abyss. And a rapid vortex pulled us into the maws of the beast, tenebrous as a well under a moonless sky. It was a deep noise, and like a droplet in a sea, it melted into the fathomless dark. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. How goes the plan? Acknowledge. Hey! Looks like the radar's broken for good. Worrying. I love that scene so much. The fucking pallid whale is so fucking cool. I love the pallid whale. Pallid whale is sick as fuck. But we will have next time to go into that. But first things first, we do have up to level 100, which gets us this. I will wait until we have the seasonal identity banner. But I believe we have, yeah, we do have a 10 pull out of tickets. So let's see if we can grab anything else. We got an ego, that looks like. Okay, canvas whaling. Very good for tremor, but we don't have tremor, so it is what it is. We'll be able to grab another 10 pull pretty quickly. We're 100 lunacy away, and you know, actually, I might just do that right now so I can also grab the monthly packs, because that's something I should be doing. So just alright, just quick grab those. It's actually a little bit more than I remembered it being, but oh well. We'll grab nothing. Well, that didn't go well. Again, I am going to wait on this, because we already have, especially because we already have the one. Malfaust would be cool, but again, I'm gonna wait until the seasonal identity. If I had to guess, that will be the next banner, but I also thought Walpurgis was gonna be like the next banner for several banners, so you know. Well, that prediction is gone. Regardless, that will do it for this time. Next time, we'll start off the Jesus Christ, my voice is cracking so much, even without it being intentional. Next time, we will begin to start off the dungeon of Canto 5, but until then, see you guys later.